Commander Sarah Chen stared at the holographic display, her weathered face illuminated by the pulsing red dots representing enemy fleets. For 3 centuries, humanity had fought the Zephyrian Empire across 17 star systems, believing they were defending their right to exist in a hostile galaxy. Today, that belief would shatter like glass. "Ma'am, incoming transmission from the captured Zephyrian command ship," Lieutenant Rodriguez reported, his voice tight with confusion. "You're going to want to see this." The main screen flickered, revealing a Zephyrian officer, tall, crystalline skin, 4 arms. But something was wrong. Instead of the typical military posture, the alien was laughing? No, not laughing. Sobbing. "Humans." The Zephyrian commander spoke through the universal translator, his voice breaking. We need to talk. The war. It's not what you think." Sarah's jaw clenched. Another trap, perhaps. But something in the alien's manner gave her pause. "Speak." "My name is Kethful Nara, Fleet Commander of the 7th Zephyrian Battle Group. I've been fighting your species for 47 of your years." The alien's 4 eyes dimmed with what could only be described as shame. 3 rotations ago, I discovered something that changed everything. The war. It was orchestrated. Orchestrated by whom? Sarah demanded. The Galactic Council of Ancients. They've been manipulating both our species, all species, for millennia. We're not enemies, Commander Chen. We're test subjects. The bridge fell silent. Sarah felt her world tilting on its axis. "Explain." Kethful activated a holographic projection. Ancient beings, ethereal, luminescent creatures that seemed to exist partially outside normal spacetime, appeared in the display. Sarah recognized them immediately. The Arbiters, the supposedly neutral peacekeeping force that had attempted to mediate the human-Zephyrian conflict for centuries. "They call themselves the Shapers," Kethful continued. "They've been conducting what they term evolutionary pressure experiments on younger species. They identify 2 compatible civilizations, manufacture conflicts between them, and observe how both sides develop under stress." Sarah's blood ran cold. "The technology leaps during wartime." "Exactly. Your fusion drives, our quantum shields, the breakthrough weapon systems, all developed under the pressure of existential threat. The Shapers have been feeding intelligence to both sides, ensuring the war never truly ends while pushing both species toward rapid advancement." "But why?" Rodriguez whispered. Kethful's expression darkened. "Because they're dying. Their species has reached evolutionary stagnation. They need fresh genetic and technological material to survive. Once a species reaches sufficient development, they harvest it, completely." The implications hit Sarah like a physical blow. Humanity and the Zephyrians weren't just being manipulated, they were being farmed. "How do you know this?" she asked. "Because I found one of their facilities." Kethful transmitted coordinates. "A processing center where they've been studying, captured soldiers from both sides. I saw humans and Zephyrians in preservation tanks, their minds being explored, downloaded, copied." Sarah stood slowly, her mind racing. If this was true, it changed everything. But it also presented an opportunity. "Kethful, in your discovery, did you find anything about other species?" "Yes. The Hegemony, the Void Hunters, the Crystal Confederacy, all of them are currently engaged in similar manufactured conflicts. Dozens of wars, all orchestrated by the Shapers." A plan began forming in Sarah's mind. It was audacious, probably impossible, but it was distinctly human in its ambition. "Lieutenant Rodriguez, open a channel to High Command. Emergency Alpha priority. And get me a line to every human fleet commander in known space." "Ma'am?" Sarah turned back to the Zephyrian commander. "Kethful, can you contact other Zephyrian commanders? Ones you trust?" "Some, but why would they believe this? Why would your people?" "Because," Sarah smiled grimly, "humans have a talent for recognizing when we're being played, and we really don't like it." Over the next 6 hours, something unprecedented happened. Human and Zephyrian forces began communicating directly, sharing intelligence, comparing notes. The evidence was overwhelming once viewed through the lens of manipulation, rather than genuine conflict. Battle plans that seemed too convenient, intelligence leaks that were too perfect, technological discoveries that arrived at suspiciously opportune moments. But the Shapers had made one critical error in their calculations. They had underestimated humanity's capacity for lateral thinking and pattern recognition. and they had completely failed to account for what would happen when humans realized they were being used. Sarah stood before a joint human-Zephyrian war council, the first in 3 centuries. Ladies, gentlemen, and honored Zephyrians, we have a choice. We can continue fighting each other for the entertainment and benefit of puppet masters, or we can show these shapers what happens when you mess with species who don't like being told what to do. Kethval rose from his delegation. The Zephyrian Empire stands with humanity in this revelation, but the shapers are ancient, powerful beyond measure. How do we fight beings who have manipulated galactic politics for eons? Sarah's grin was predatory. The same way humans have always fought impossible odds, by refusing to play by the rules they set. The plan that emerged was pure human audacity combined with Zephyrian precision. Instead of a direct assault on the shapers, they would do something the ancient beings had never encountered in their millions of years of manipulation. They would reveal the truth to every species simultaneously, using combined human and Zephyrian technology. They broadcasted evidence of the shapers' manipulation across the entire galaxy. The hegemony learned their war with the Void Hunters was fake. The Crystal Confederacy discovered their generations-long conflict with the Silicon Syndicate was manufactured. Species after species realized they'd been dancing to the Shaper's tune, but the masterstroke was uniquely human in its simplicity. They didn't just reveal the manipulation, they provided coordinates to every Shaper facility in known space and invited everyone to a party. The Shapers, for the first time in their existence, faced something they couldn't manipulate or control. The combined rage of dozens of species who had just learned they'd been played for fools. The war was indeed a lie. But the revolution that followed, that was beautifully, chaotically, and distinctly real. And it all started because humanity had one trait the Shapers never anticipated: the absolute refusal to stay manipulated once they figured out the game.